I'm delighted to introduce our panelist, Omar Qaisi, founder and CEO of OQ Technology. To start, let's hear from Omar, who will begin with a presentation on the demo that had been done in collaboration between Aramco and OQ. Omar, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Abdulaziz, and I'd like to thank also CST for hosting us.
You can just fix it.
So I'd like to thank first CST for hosting us and also hosting the demo at the CST building, and also for this invitation. Thank you very much. So my name is Omar Qaisi. I'm the founder and CEO of OQ Technology. So OQ Technology today is the company that's providing 5G NTN connectivity in low Earth orbit for remote and rural areas, mainly for the communication of machines and devices in multiple sectors. The idea here is to extend the cellular coverage of mobile operators into remote and rural areas where cell towers cannot reach that today, or traditional satellite solutions are very expensive or not compatible with the 3GPP standard. So what we came up with is a solution where with one standard that is compatible with terrestrial cellular, you can cover the whole world. You can roam with mobile operator by using a constellation of small low Earth orbiting satellites. That, of course, will allow us to address many markets. The company started back in 2016 in Luxembourg. Since then, we expanded into multiple countries. We have here in Saudi Arabia also a company. It is based actually in Bahrain. And we are also looking to expand into Riyadh. We have launched like 10 satellite missions until now. We have built multiple partnerships. We have also granted patents in the use of NTN IoT in low Earth orbit, both in Europe and in the US. We also have our notified ITU filings and spectrum. And since then, we've been also raising money to add more satellites into our constellation. So OQ is a startup and has been invested by multiple venture capitals and companies. So for Aramco, Wa'ad Ventures is an investor in OQ, plus other VC funds like Vistos Fund in Greece, the big satellite company SCS, also other companies like Policies, and also the Luxembourg government. So basically what we offer is the connectivity service, so the subscription per month. We also have our own devices that allows enterprise to connect their industrial sensors into our devices and send the data to satellites. We have our own platform, and we also have our own tracking devices, and you can see this once you go into the demonstration area. We have been also working with Aramco, so we have installed the full private 5G NTN network and commissioned the ground stations in order to land the data in the kingdom and serve multiple use cases for Aramco. OQ is also a pioneer right now in the field of direct to smartphones, so we're already designing a mission and a system for connecting directly to smartphones from low Earth orbit small satellites. And we are leading this right now in Europe, and we also plan to bring this into the kingdom. We have won multiple awards globally, and one of the notable awards we got recently was from Aramco during the Space Age event. We're very proud of that. And we also won last year the Technology Excellence Award for Middle East. In addition to that, we are building different partnerships with mobile operators, but also with different clients inside Aramco. We're also working with IoT Square, which is the joint venture between PIF and STC for IoT in the kingdom, and we're trying to address multiple use cases. So regarding the demo, I just want to show that what we've done, the satellites are passing over the kingdom, and as they pass, we are actually on one side, we allow people to type a message and then pass this directly into the terminal and send this over our satellites, and later, once picked up by the satellite and downloaded, it will appear on the dashboard. But also we have the use case where we've been running like sensors that are collecting weather data, and this data was also transmitted over the satellites from the roof here and then landed back into our IoT and data analytics platform.
Can I ask you some specific questions?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Before going to IoT and your partnerships, I will start with the direct-to-device. How will direct-to-device market evolve in the next 5 years, and what key trends should we anticipate?
I think we are witnessing a revolution here in the world of satellite communication. For the first time in the history of satellite communication, you see that cellular communication is coming directly to connect to satellites in orbit. This has not been seen before, and there is a lot happening right now and driving this from connectivity of smart cars, drones, sensors, but also recently the most important thing is the direct to smartphone, where you see also like the need to be able to message or make a phone call when you are in remote and rural areas to satellites. I mean, if you look, in average per day, 750 million people go out of coverage because they are moving between urban and non-urban areas where they lose coverage, and satellites are going to play a critical role in the future to connect those people, especially for safety, search and rescue. But also you have people who doesn't have at all access to smartphones and messaging because there's no infrastructure at all. And these will be also addressed by the new NTN satellite constellations, in addition, of course, to the IoT and the machines which require that connectivity also.
Thank you, Omar. I think a lot of use cases you mentioned, smart cars, direct-to-device, other applications, and for sure IoT, which is the one you present. But what makes OQ technology different from others in the industry?
Yeah, very good question. So when we started like 8 years ago, we looked mainly into different technologies in order to address the connectivity of like millions of devices for the IoT and the machine communication market. And we realized there is one flaw with all the satellite business model, which is it's always proprietary technologies. And what we decided to go with the standard of cellular, because you don't have this problem in cellular. You have an ecosystem, you have one standard, everyone uses it, whether 3G, 4G, 5G, and that allows economies of scale. And this is why we decided to go to the NB-IoT over satellite. We started very early. What makes us advanced also compared to others is that we already tested the technology in orbit, we're already commercial, we have satellites, we have our spectrum, which is very important, also licensed by different agencies, and our ITU filings. Plus, we have our granted patents regarding this technology, both in Europe and in the US.
Thank you. In the first panel, they talked about standards and these things. Also, Ahmed Al-Khwaitir, the VP of Aramco, mentioned the partnerships with some companies, and he mentioned OQ with the IoT use cases. Could you tell us more about the use case and the partnership with Aramco?
Yeah, so with Aramco, we have a very deep partnership. It started with 3 years ago, when we looked into how we can address use cases where you have assets in remote areas that either not connected, or to connect them, you need a reliable system with low power communication, especially when you don't have power and you don't need to send people into remote areas. And this is when we started to work on these use cases and connect them and install a full infrastructure also to have the data privately in one network. You're looking at different use cases like, for example, like corrosion monitoring, tracking, pipeline monitoring, and many more, predictive maintenance. Of course, on the other side, Aramco investment arm had also invested twice in OQ technology. And we look forward also with more collaboration, especially in the new areas in the field of direct-to-device.
Thank you. I think we have a few minutes left. Could you tell us more about, I know you have a booth outside. Could you give us just an introduction or brief what you have? And if you are working in other countries in the few minutes that we have left.
Yes, thank you very much. So basically what we try to show in the demo, we have our own 5G NTN IoT terminal that is compatible with different types of sensors. So you could have a full solution, interface different types of sensors, wired or wireless, collect the data. The device knows when the satellite comes, wakes up, sends the data to the satellites, and it's then received into the enterprise platform, or whether it's private or also ours. And using that, you can deploy this anywhere, whether it's mobile or fixed assets.